Okay, our next poem is Ode to My Socks by Pablo Neruda. As you can see, when you look at the structure of this poem, there's something that sticks out really fast. There's two languages on here. Left-hand side is English. We know that. The right-hand side is Spanish. Now, the first thing that happens when it's a translated poem is a lot of the traditional forms of what we see in English go away. So the rhyme scheme obviously goes away. If you're going to say dog in Spanish, that's perro. I forget. No, it's been a while. And obviously that doesn't sound the same as dog in English. So if I was going to say dog and rhyme it with fog, like the word for dog in Spanish does not rhyme with the word for fog in Spanish. At least if it does, that's a really weird coincidence. So that goes away. Number of syllables goes away. Now, so when you say if you look at the left, you say it's a non-traditional poem because the lines are of different lengths. And you're correct, but then you have to check the Spanish to say, well, is there a rhyme? Is there rhyming that's happening there? Is it the same length, the same syllables? But you can look and see this is a non-traditional poem in either language. Okay, and Pablo Neruda's from Chile, so that's why he wrote in Spanish. I'm going to read the poem. There is no rhyme scheme once again, so I will just go through and read the poem. Mauro Mori bought me a pair of socks, knitted with their own shepherd's hands, two socks soft as rabbits. I slipped my feet into them as if into jewel cases woven with threads of dusk and sheep's wool. Audacious socks. My feet became two woolen fish, two long sharks of lapis blue, shot with a golden thread. Two mammoth blackbirds, two cannons thus honored, were my feet by these celestial socks. They were so beautiful that for the first time my feet seemed unacceptable to me. Two tired old firefighters, not worthy of the woven fire of those luminous socks. Nonetheless, I resisted the strong temptation to save them the way schoolboys bottle fireflies, the way scholars hoard sacred documents. I resisted the wild impulse to place them in a cage of gold and daily feed them birdseed and rosy melon flesh, like explorers who in the forest surrender a rare and tender deer to the spit and eat it with remorse. I stuck out my feet. I pulled on the handsome socks, then my shoes. So this is the moral of my ode. Twice beautiful is beauty, and what is good, doubly good, when it is a case of two woolen socks in wintertime. Okay, definition of an ode is what? Definition of an ode is a poem written to commend something like important. Okay, and here's the problem. It highly praises something. Okay, this does highly praise something, but odes are usually a person, event, an idea. It's something big, like Abraham Lincoln, or an ode to freedom. Like this is an ode to socks. So you have to consider what's the author trying to do here? If they're not writing a traditional ode, then they're challenging something, which is fine. Pablo Neruda is challenging an ode. So he's saying, like, you don't tell me what's important. Okay? To me, my socks are important. And then he goes through, obviously, for 3.5 pages to explain why his socks are important, using metaphors, using personification in order to make his socks seem like these wonderful beings that make his life complete. So he's saying that the traditional form of an ode doesn't necessarily have to be the same for everyone. So he chooses socks. Now, he uses multiple times personification. Let's find, there's a whole bunch of them. Okay, on page 779, line 20 through about 25. My feet became two woolen fish, two long sharks of lapis blue, shot with a golden thread, two mammoth blackbirds, two cannons thus honored. So once again, it's not, he's comparing his feet and his socks to these other animals and how they feel. All right, and to continue. Okay, so, and then he also points out in the very last line, like, what is important? What's important is that socks are most important in the winter. So he finishes with the line, when is the case of two woolen socks in wintertime? Okay, if you were to choose this poem for when we write our paper, once again, you're going to be writing a paper, doing a presentation, you're going to miss out on some of the sound devices that aren't going to be in this poem, okay, because of the translation. But what you do have are multiple cases of alliteration, multiple cases of personification, multiple cases of metaphors in here. So that's what you would focus on. Okay, that is that poem.